I'ma need safety. Tell her op can't snake me. Ray gun off safety. My girl so tasty. Tell her it's your world. She want the two-tone spaceship. Blow smoke screen daily, so the stress don't faze me. I'm going, I keep it factual. I'm on sabbatical. I'm out in Central America. I need a break from hysteria. Park like the one with the carousel. I get it lit in your area. I'm locked to the vision, it couldn't be clear. You couldn't pay me to care enough. I dare you to hate me supreme with the sound through the stereo. So turn it up loud when you hearing us. We live and it's good in your area. My mama proud, she tearing up and it's going down. Got your girl aroused by these massive stacks like 100 pounds. Running big laps till the sun is down like 100 miles. Tinted frames on me leaning down. I'm winning now.
Mic check 1 2 1 2. What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Steven back with another video. Today's video, I wanted to talk about the college football playoffs. I think this is going to be one of the best playoffs that we have seen in a very long time, just because it's kind of a fresh batch of teams. I mean, yes, obviously you still have Alabama and Georgia, but now you have Cincinnati, who's a group of 5 school, the first group of 5 schools to ever make the college football playoffs. And now you have Michigan, who is making the college football playoffs for the first time since the whole college football playoff was a thing back in 2013. And there's a lot that can happen in this college football playoff. But first, I wanted to talk about Cincinnati. Cincinnati, they're going up against number 1 Alabama. I think Cincinnati, even as a Bearcats fan, I think Cincinnati will lose this game. But I think this will be a very tight game. I don't think this is going to be a blowout where it's, a Notre Dame, like it's 56-27. I don't think it's going to be that, because if you watch Cincinnati, Cincinnati is really strong at corner. They have Kobe Bryant, who I think is going to be a first-round corner. You have Sauce Gardner, who's probably going to be a top 10 pick in this year's draft. And their secondary is, I think personally, the best secondary in football. And if you look at that Alabama and Georgia game, you will know that Georgia's weakest point on their defense was their secondary. And in Cincinnati's defense, their biggest strength is their secondary. Now, the way I feel like if Cincinnati wants to beat Alabama, they need to make sure they lock down Bama's wide receiver. I think Minchie, you need to shut him down. He's an incredible deep threat. And so while recording this video, I actually just found out that Minchie is going to be out of this playoff game because of an ACL injury. I did not know that while editing the video. So if I keep mentioning throughout the video about Bama shutting it down, just know it was a mistake. I just found out that he turned his ACL. And Jameson Williamson, I don't think you'll be able to shut them down, but you need to neutralize them. Because if you let Bryce Hall sit in the pocket and find one of these guys, it's going to be a very, very, very long day for that Bearcats defense. And I think another thing that Bearcats should do is get pressure in Bryce Young's face. Blitz all day. You need to get pressure on Bryce Young, because if you don't apply pressure, you need to contain Bryce Young in the pocket. Because if you let Bryce Young loose and you let him, run around and scramble out of the pocket, you're like Bryce Young, he's going to kill you. He's going to kill you. So I think the Bearcats need to get pressure, contain Bryce Young, keep him in the pocket, and shut down Jameson Williamson and John Minchie. Now, on the Bearcats offense, they need to run the ball. The Bama's run defense isn't that great. Okay? So, you have Ford, a former Bama transfer. You need to run the ball with them. Pound the ball down Alabama's throat. The run defense isn't that great. You need to run the ball like 75% of the play. You need to run the ball. And then you cannot... Desmond Reader has to step up. I've seen him step up in big moments, and I have seen him fail in the big moments too. Desmond Reader needs to really step up in big moments for the Bearcats, because if Desmond Reader can play at an elite level for the Bearcats, The Cincinnati Bearcats has a legit chance of beating Alabama and advancing to the college football playoffs. Now for Alabama. Alabama, look. To me, I think Alabama's the best team in the country. I've like all year, my number one team in the country was to me always Bama. Because I always thought, you know what? Bama's going to somehow find a way to win. And they're going to beat you, and it doesn't matter how they're going to beat you. They're going to beat you. They're going to find a way to win. And I think the way Bama, all they need to do is they need to run the ball, because I don't think they will be able to pass on Kobe Bryant or Saucy Gardner. So I think Bama needs to, run the ball, because when you have two first-round corners and have an elite secondary and an underrated linebacker group, you won't be able to pass on them. I think Bama has to do the same thing as Cincinnati. Run the ball. I think they need to, Bama, they're known for their running game. So you might as well just run the ball. You have two 5-star recruits at running back. Just run the ball. And Bryce Young needs to play the way he played in that Georgia game. That Georgia game already told me, oh yeah, that's the Heisman winning trophy winner right there. His Heisman moment for me was obliterating that Georgia's quote unquote best defense we have seen in 10 years. Bruh, Georgia to me was the most overrated team I've probably seen all year. Their defense was mid. They were mid at best. And I said, you know what? We gonna really know how good their defense is when they go up against Alabama. And Alabama was like, oh yeah, your defense is mid. You know what I'm saying? Your defense was not all of that. And I was saying this all year, Georgia is overrated. They're not that great. And they're gonna fold like an omelet. But if Bama wants to win this game, they need to run the ball. Basically, run the ball and stop the run against Cincinnati. I think those are the ways Bama can win. And for Cincinnati, run the ball and stop the wide receivers on the Alabama side. Now let's talk about Michigan. Michigan, look, coming into this season, Michigan was the last team I even thought about was going to make it to the college football playoff, because I'm like, bro, they can't even beat Ohio State, let alone even win a Big Ten championship. Bro, what could convince you to think Michigan's going to even make the playoffs if they can't even beat Ohio State? Jim Harbaugh proved me wrong. Jim Harbaugh said, no, this is my season. He obliterated Ohio State, which is one of his best ones of his career, because we all know Michigan haven't beaten Ohio State since 2003, 2008. I don't know. It's been a very long time. Every matchup I have seen, Ohio State has obliterated Michigan. Now, I'm not going to lie. It's been some years where I'm like, oh yeah, Michigan go beat Ohio State this year. I remember, I think it was 2018. I'm like, yo, yeah, Michigan beat Ohio State. No, I was wrong. They got obliterated. So Michigan proved a lot this year. Jim Harbaugh proved yo, all you had to do was give me a couple years, I can make the college football playoff. So now I think Jim Harbaugh, I remember last year there was a lot of talk about him, being fired or quitting. I think Michigan's going to keep Jim Harbaugh around, because if Jim Harbaugh, let's say if he goes on to the national championship, let's say he loses to a Bama or Cincinnati, that's still a win for Michigan, because they've now made it to the college football playoffs, which is going to give Michigan fans and Jim Harbaugh confidence, you know what, next year, we've already made it, we can make it again and win it all. Michigan, to me, is a very interesting team, because their quarterback situation isn't that great. I mean, he's okay. Is he a Heisman winner? No. Is he a first-round pick, second-round pick? Probably not. He's a definition of a game manager. He's good enough to get you there. He's big on third downs. He's a game manager. But what's going to help their offense is the running game. They have two elite running back. Blake Cromwell, I think I'm saying Crowman. I think I'm saying his last name wrong. And Hakeem Haskins. Bro, that running back duo, best running back duo in the country. No doubt about it. They're they are carrying that offense. Without Blake or Hassan, bro, Michigan, their offense probably the worst offense in probably college football playoffs because they're carrying that offense. And I think that they're going to be the reason either Michigan beats Georgia or Michigan loses to Georgia. So their offense is definitely predicated on Blake and Hassan Haskins. But their defense, again, their defense, to me personally, it's about middle of the pack. Like, I mean, it's not the worst defense. It isn't Bama or Cincinnati's defense, but it's a solid, it's good enough. It's a good enough defense. And you have a star in Aiden Hutchinson, who's to me probably a top 5 pick in the NFL draft. Their defense is pretty solid. To me personally, I know a lot of people think Michigan probably has one of the best defenses in the country. They don't, to me personally, but Michigan is just such a they're a solid team. Like, every phases of their offense, like their offensive line, solid. Running back, solid. Quarterback, solid. Wide receiver, solid. Defensive line, I would probably say great because of Aiden Hutchinson. Secondary, solid. So their defense is just a solid defense. I think their overall team is a solid team. I don't see Michigan really beating Georgia, but I wouldn't be surprised if they did beat Georgia. I just wouldn't be surprised, but I just feel like I just don't see that happening because I know I was just clowning the Georgia defense. Like, I'm not saying the Georgia defense isn't bad, but it isn't what people was waving about all year. Like, I still think Georgia defense is elite to the point where they can't shut down Michigan's running game. So Michigan, to me, it's a 50-50. They can beat Georgia, they can lose Georgia. I wouldn't be surprised by either outcome personally. Now for the last team, Georgia. This team, oh my God. Georgia, they're just such a different breed of just like, they're just so overhyped and so overrated, it's not even funny. First of all, how is people calling this the best team in the nation and they don't even have a starting quarterback? Stetson Bennett is mid at best. He's not all of that. They're JT Daniels, again, mid at best. These aren't first, second, or third round pick quarterbacks in the NFL. They're probably backups. You know, not JT Daniels. I do like JT Daniels, but JT Daniels to me is he would definitely need a couple years developing if he were, let's say, entered to the NFL draft. But their quarterback situation is all over the place. Their offense is not that great. People love to talk about how Georgia is all this great team. Their offense isn't that great. Like, Georgia's defense has been carrying this entire team. Without that defense, Georgia to me isn't even ranked in the top 25 poll. They're Clemson. Even though Clemson, I would get to Clemson in another video. But Georgia, their defense isn't all that great to me. I mean, you're held points to 9. I think 10 points a game, but yeah, you couldn't stop Alabama, which I'm not surprised. I mean, it's like Nick Kirby can beat every other team, but as soon as it comes to beating Nick Saban, he folds like an omelet, bro. Like, he fails under pressure against Nick Saban. You telling me you can't, Nick Kirby Smart is going to be Jim Harbaugh. He's going to it's going to take him a while to actually beat Georgia. I said Georgia, to beat Alabama. It's going to take him a couple of years to beat Alabama. As long as Nick Saban is the coach of Alabama, it's going to take Kirby Smart at least, I'll probably say another 4 years till he beats Bama. Because this is ridiculous. It's not like you lost in a close game. You got blown out by Bama. by the supposed #1 team in the nation. Like, come on now. That is just unacceptable. I honestly, if I was betting, I would probably bet on Michigan versus Georgia personally. Me, I'm probably betting on Michigan just because, like, Georgia offense is bad. Like, their offense is bad. Their defense isn't, to me, that great personally. If I'm a bettor, I'm probably betting on Michigan. But Georgia, they could win this game. I think their defense need to just control the game. That defensive line needs to control the entire game, control the line of scrimmage, because if that defense doesn't step up against Michigan, Georgia isn't beating Michigan, especially not against those two running backs. So I think Georgia needs to just control the line of scrimmage. Their defense need to play well, and their offense need to be good enough. Okay, it needs to be good enough to beat Michigan. And that's all I have for you guys today. If you enjoyed the video, make sure you smash that like button. Make sure you subscribe. Don't forget to turn those post notifications on. And I'm out. Peace.
Lately it's looking like everything perfect. Out the mud with it, I put the work in. You can find me where that turf is. Pin precision like a surgeon. Bad ones used to curb me. Showing up to the show when the curve split. She know that I'm worth it. I'm finna go up, I'm aerial. I got the hit stash, got a bracelet for impact. Real tricky, quick to flip a pretty penny to a thick stack, quick stack. Think fast and I talk real. I give a fuck about how they feel. Me and Zay just dropped the propane and it sounded like mass appeal. For my dog, I'ma ride to the wheels kill. Got his hand on the hammer, so keep it legit. I've been the man with the blueprint. I won't stop till I own every brick. I used to lay out in the lawn just to feel the world spin on its axis. Now I got the access and the last laugh, got it off of the passion.